Hi guys, welcome to Sampoorna, the holistic well-being program with you, me, and us. And we are discussing on how do we think big. And this is the second session on the same topic which we had discussed last Monday. So welcoming you all to Sampoorna, the holistic well-being program. Yeah, thank you, Anchal. Thank you, Rupal. Thank you, Devyani. Thank you, Sharad. I love you so much, Sujima, Jay, Usha, Pallavi Poddar. Welcome all of you. Reena Mehta. Nidhi, Sridevi Rao, all of you being there always makes such excitement to see you on the online live. So keep logging in as you come. Hi Sandy Baba, hi Riku, Session, Pramila, Anil, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Hi Supraja, hi Rajni, hi Darshana. Keep joining in just another few seconds and I'll begin the session. I don't want you to miss from the whole thing. Uh-huh. Hi Shruti, Natraj. Okay. Uma, I suppose. Priya, Sheila, Ravindra, Dr. Saab. Hmm. Last session we discussed few things. I'll just hi Malti, hi Ravi. I'll just do a little what they call as throwback or playback. I'll revise the whole thing just by Padrul Amin. May God bless you too and be God with you all the time. We discussed a lot of things in last session about how do we think big, and one of the first learning which we had was like if you want to think big, thinking is later. First you need to feel big. Once you feel big, you'll automatically start thinking big. Your thoughts will be bigger because you feel big about yourself. And I think that's the whole trick here which a lot of people miss on explaining. What they say is right, but how do you make it happen is what very interesting, because what to do we all know in life. Why should we think big also we know. What to think also we know, but how do you think like that is what we are discussing here. And this how part is always going to be a challenge for everybody, because not everybody has a expertise or clarity on this dimension called how, because any human being who knows why, what, and how of anything, for them anything is possible. So much I do in my life because I just know exactly how to do it. And that's what we're discussing here in the session is how do you think big. So first is not thinking big, you have to first feel big, because it's very simple. When you feel good, you think positive. When you feel bad, you think negative. It's as plain simple, nothing to discuss about it. It's a very common understanding, common sense which can be put into use. Reading big books on how to think positive and how to think, I think it's all about feeling. If anybody can feel good all the time, and that's the challenge, that's where I think comes my understandings, my insights about whatever we discuss. So feel big is something very, very important. Second point we also discussed was willingness to take willing risk. If you're not willing to take some risks in your life, your mind will never expand, because when you see, what do you say when I say willing to take risk, basically means you're willing to break your comfort zone. You are willing to go in discomfort by choice, and for that sometimes you'll have to take some risks that are actually bigger than you. And we also discuss about what is it, what kind of risk, how much risk can be taken, and how do you calculate that risk. I think I have discussed in the previous session. Those of you who want to know, if you have not been in the previous session, go in the YouTube session if it is available there on the YouTube. I think it is. Go and check it out. What I mean by how do I take willing risk with. I don't want to even give a conservative thought process saying that how do I take that willing risk without losing a lot. ऐसा नहीं होता है. It doesn't happen. You have to take that risk. Today I'm going to share something even more profound. How do I think big? If at one end when I say you need to feel rich or feel big, to think big, at the same time I would want to say that, and we ended with the story of frying pan, how that villager was not willing to pick up the bigger fish, because back home he had a smaller frying pan, and he kept leaving the bigger fishes back in the water, which makes no sense to anybody. But that's how it is for all of us. Also, we keep uh, having a smaller frying pan here. This frying pan has to be expanded. So when I say expanded, I have to give you a little background from the physics. See, we have microscope and we also have telescope. Why both are required? See, with the naked eyes we can only see this much. So there is an visual bandwidth between which human beings can see. Below this we cannot see with the naked eyes, above this also we cannot see with the naked eyes. So to see smallest particles or organisms, we have invented microscope. So microscopes enhances your visual bandwidth. Likewise, telescope also, if you are to see stars which are not visible to the human eyes naked, if you want to see those, we have to use telescope that has been invented by the man. So, with the help of a telescope, our visual bandwidth increases. Like that, eyesight has a bandwidth. Similarly, there are sounds which we cannot pick up, and some sounds which we cannot actually we cannot take that sound. So, sound is measured with hertz. Now, hertz is so this much hertz of sound we can hear. Lesser than this, human ears cannot pick up. Louder than this, we cannot tolerate. So there are some machineries by which you are able to, what they call as hearing aids. With the help of this, we actually expand our hearing bandwidth. So like that, there is a visual bandwidth, the hearing bandwidth. There is also something called mental bandwidth. This mental bandwidth, that frying pan which we spoke in the last session, this mental bandwidth has to be increased, has to be expanded. And I think that's where the frying pan increases. And the moment frying pan size increases, we're able to actually think bigger thought process. We're able to think bigger things in life because we have increased our mental bandwidth. Now, how do you increase the mental bandwidth? That is what we are going to discuss today. Because, for example, I was working 30 years ago when I went for my first interview after my first job. And in the previous job, in the first job, my salary had gone from 600 rupees per month to 1000 rupees per month. 1993, I'm talking about. And when I went for the interview, so the interviewer asked me, so what is the salary you're expecting? See, my mental bandwidth was 1000 rupees. So 1000 rupee person, if he gets 25% hike or 30% hike, is more than happy. But somehow, with a lot of courage, I mustered and said, I want 2000 rupees salary. Happily, the interviewer agreed. And I felt so excited because my salary got double, 100% hike in my salary. My bandwidth was like, oh, it's exciting. I got double my salary package. Later, I came to know the interviewer was ready to pay me 3000 rupees if I would ask for it. But my mental bandwidth was 1000 rupees only. For 18 months, I have worked for 1000 rupees per month. For somebody who is earning 1000 rupees per month, for him, 2000 rupees thinking itself is big. But that was my mental bandwidth. So it's all about your mental bandwidth, how much you are able to conceive in that mind of yours. I was not able to conceive anything beyond 2000 rupees. I would have been very reluctant, hesitant, nervous to even ask anything beyond this. 2000 rupees also I asked with a lot of hesitation, but I'm glad at least I asked for 2000 rupees. Like this, how many of us, because our world is willing to give. See, there's a very beautiful law of life which says, rains will fill the vessels that you carry. Rains will fill the vessel that you carry. So if you go with a spoon in the rains, you get spoonful of water. You go with a glass in the rain, you get glass full of water. You go with a jug in the rain, you get jug full of water. You go with a big vessel in the hand, you get vessel full of water. You go with a container, you get container full of water. So rain has no problem to fill. Whatever you carry, the vessel only depends upon you. Now, what vessel are you carrying? A spoon or a glass or a tumbler or a jug or a container or a drum? All depends upon you. Life, rains will fill the vessel that you carry. Similarly, the world, existence, life, whatever you want to say, life will fill the vessel that you carry. What's your vessel? That bandwidth has to be expanded. And for that, I think the first and foremost thing that you and me need to practice is one is belief. One, that is belief. Believe that you can actually, how do I put it? The belief that you deserve more in life. That belief should be there. Backed up with brilliant languaging. Now, languaging is not a word that is existing in a dictionary, but it's something like tonguing some words. So there has to be a fabulous belief that you deserve more in life, you deserve big in life, you deserve best in life. That belief should be there, backed up with a powerful languaging, an empowering language which you should be able to use it for yourself, not to impress the world, for yourself. So the belief that I think I'm made for bigger things in life, that belief should be there. And this is the one thing, everything else I can teach you. From how to love making, from spirituality to management to leadership to personality development to anything that needs for human being to grow in life, I can teach you one thing. I or any other person in the world, maybe a spiritual master or a management guru or anybody who's into motivation and inspiration, no human being in this world, including Krishna, Christ and Prophet, none of them can do this. Is they cannot instill the belief in you. That has to come from within. That has to come from within. The spark of living a bigger life, to feel big, has to come from you. The world can be a fuel. World can be fuel. I can fuel it. Everybody else in the world can fuel it, from the books to the people, to the gurus, to the gods. They can fuel your spark, but they cannot create spark in you. The spark has to come from you, from the within. So the belief that you should need to believe, yes, I'm made for bigger things in life. And you should believe that you deserve more in life. And that's very important. That belief is something, it has to come from you. And that belief is something like a seed. Like there is no tree without roots. There is no tree without seed. There is no greatness without the belief. People always say that. Why should I be happy? When I tell people, be happier. So once I become happy, I will stay happy morning, happy afternoon, happy. It is the kind of languaging which I practiced for last almost 27 years. It's this only. Everywhere it is happy morning, happy evening, happy night, happy, 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 happy. And people say, you keep on telling happy. Yeah, but if I'm not happy, then why should I say it? I said, that's what I'm trying to tell you, that I believe that I can be a happy person. And that is backed up with an empowering language that even I'm happy or not, that is not in spite of this, I use the language, use the terminologies, use the terms, use those words like happy morning or happy afternoon or happy evening, what it may be. How are you? On top of the world. There are times I am actually stressed. I know things are not going great, but still I choose, in spite of this, I choose to tongue it because I believe I want to live my life on top of the world. I may not be on top of the world, but I believe I want to be on top of the world. In that belief, I also talk to myself with those words that I am on top of the world. If I'm not happy, I don't want to be a hypocrite, people say. Don't you think, isn't it hypocrisy that you're not happy, but you're going on saying happy morning to everybody? I said, it's not like that, my dear friend. You tell me this, and I ask the counter question to them. After becoming great, do you do great things, or by doing great things you do become great in life? And everybody says, of course, by doing great things only I become great in life. I said, that's how it is. When you start believing that you're happy, start believing that you're loving, start believing that you're big in life, when you start believing by believing this, by talking, by sharing, by speaking, by wording, by coining these terms like I'm on top of the world, I'm happy, and happy mornings, like this, you will eventually become happy. You will eventually live a life top of the world. And that is the reality of my life. Not a sad moment in my life. There's not a dull moment in my life. I live life on top of the world in spite of the challenges, difficulties that I face, go through frequently on regular basis. In spite of that's what that belief has to come. If you want that mental bandwidth to be increased, the only way to increase the mental bandwidth which can fit in anything that you want or something bigger than you, then I think that mental bandwidth has to expand. And further, first you have to start believing in that, backed up with a fabulous words. When I say words, means like EDP, the program which we do in the Kingdom College and Entrepreneur Development Program. If regular programs. I wish everybody happy evening or happy morning or happy afternoon. Then EDP program, where all my college boys and girls and degree college boys and girls, when they start on the dais when they come on dais and start their presentation or talk, it has been compulsory made all of them to say. They all will come and say, "Guys, wishing you crores." They're all students, but this term has been coined in their my mental framework, in this mental bandwidth, so that wishing you crores, wishing you crores, wishing you. So every time they come on the dais, they talk to anybody, they do sharing, everybody will wish everybody, wishing you thousand, wishing you crores, wishing you crores, wishing you crores. So somebody who has not even started to work, their mind is only getting believed and convinced with the conceiving the idea that wishing you crores, wishing you crores, wishing you crores, and they feel like a crorepati from the beginning. They stopped the practice in the college, in my college, the Kingdom College. But when I started the Kingdom College way back in 2016, it can't be called way back, just 6 years back. This internal exams used to be there. The internal exams, I played the psychological trick with so many of my students, all the students. So what I did was, the internal exams will be very strange. In case any one of you educationists watching this, don't get offended if you don't want to speak now next couple of minutes maybe. They have this internal test for 7 marks, 10 marks, 15 marks, 20 marks. I said, it's such an छोटू thinking रे. मतलब 7 marks का exam कौन लेता है? मतलब really, what are trying to prove? I don't understand. So you may not agree with this whole concept. Listen to me completely. So I used to have internal exams in the Kingdom College, and the paper used to be for 500 marks. So only 5 questions will be there. Ask. Each question will be score will be 100 marks ka ek question. 5 questions only will be asked. Question paper, the whole subject will be internal question, internal exam only. Out of 500, how much will you score? Now, what happened in the process is, out of 500, how much you will score when they have to do, even if they have scored 50% of that, they still score, they got 250 marks. Even if they have scored, let's say 90%, 90 marks, their mind only knows they have scored 90. They have scored 90, and 90 is not something fooling you. It's there written, 90 marks only you got. Because most students in the college like us, they don't study to score in internals. They want to score in finals only directly in 12th board or degree mein. But this internal exam, which will happen every month, for almost 9 months, 10th month will be final examination. 9 months they have internal exams, and they all have scored out of 500. So even the lowest marks will be like 80, 85, 90, which actually is what percentage? 1/5 of the marks they get. Now you tell me, out of 100, even if you get question 100, they will get 20 marks. Tell me, after scoring 20, who feels good? I'm not even talking about percentage, because let's play the human mind simple. In a 50 paper exams, 50 marks exam, even if you get 10 marks, you don't feel great about yourself. How do you speak to anybody? You don't know how to tell anybody else. And there is that quantum of the students are actually very high in every college. So I used to have play this game with everybody's mind. Out of 500, even if their worst come to worst, the lowest one has scored 90 also, he goes and tells, his subconscious knows he has scored 90. For him, doesn't matter out of how much, but his mind only knows the reality of this number is, the reality number in his mind is, I got 90, I got 90, I got 90, I got 90. And I think first year we had actually good result as compared to a first year of the college. We had some very good results. We got a lot of centum because most of the minds were actually, they've seen. So what I did was, I just expanded the number game in their mind. Instead of giving examination internals out of 50, I made it a 500. And that's simple. And what is there to lose in the whole thing? I'm just playing with the mind game, and everybody plays with the mind. I'm also playing with the mind with a very positive perspective. I expanded the number. Wishing you crores, wishing you crores, wishing you crores, wishing you crores. Mind is now convinced over a period of time. It's a simple law. Change in the quantity, change in the quantity, change in the quantity will bring about change in the quality. Right now, you are not able to believe crores, because so many of them must be actually in employment, where to earn in crores is like an distant dream for them. But I think this belief will come only when you start languaging right words in a perfect, beautiful, coined terms we should be able to speak. No Dridichintan thinking or talking, no beggary thoughts. How it will come when we speak like that. So I think that belief will come if it can also backed up with some amazing words or statements or phrases which will be able to say that, oh, I'm going to make it big in life, I'm going to be great in life. How are you doing? Great in life. How are you doing? Outstanding in life. How are you doing? Top of the world. How are you doing? Outstanding. How are you doing? Best there. And that's what starts making the belief happening in you. You're playing the game on your mind. It's as simple as that. The reality is not important here. In the last to last session when we had uh, offline session which we had, when we had the Bhutan wandering monks, which we did, nature program which we did in Bhutan, the video presentation was that day I spoke Ramayana, myth or truth. See, belief and reality, there are two different things. The most conceivable fact is the reality. Belief is something almost like a myth. Let's keep it like that. But you know what is important here is the reality is not actually powerful. The powerful is the belief. The reality is I was born to a poor family. That is the reality. But I believe I can make it very big in life and I can live a successfully rich life. And today I live a successfully rich life because I believe. The belief becomes the reality. That's what the point here. Reality is not important. So if we are watching this Sampoorna session of mine, maybe for the first time, let me clarify this to you guys. Belief and reality, even if, for example, sun rises from the east and sets in the west, that is the reality what we have seen for all these years. But that is not the reality, it's our belief. Because the truth is, the reality is, our sun doesn't rise and set anywhere. Sun is there only. Earth keeps rotating, so we get a feeling, a perception that sun is rising and setting. So all these years, if you always believed it was your reality, reality was something else only. The reality is you may not love that person, but the other person believe you love them. For them, it is the reality. You believe other person loves you, that may not be the reality, but because you believe the other person loves you, for that it becomes reality to you. Your belief becomes reality, and that's the rule, that is the law, that is the formula of success. What you believe, that's what will be your reality, irrespective of what is your present reality. Present reality is you're a lakpati. Present reality is you're only working for thousands. Your present reality is you are a crorepati. That's leave it. Forget that part. What's your belief? If your belief is, yeah, today I'm doing thousands, lakhs, crores, but I believe I can do 10 times of this. Do you believe in this? And that belief is not from here. The belief comes from here. So like what I shared in the last session on Monday about this. The lion feels he is the king of the jungle. Yeah, he does not have a height like giraffe. He doesn't have a speed like a cheetah. He does not have the cunningness like a fox. He does not have strength or size like an elephant. Nothing he has. But उसको लगता है कि वो शेर है. उसको लगता है कि वो राजा है. He feels he is the king, so he is the king. So the day you will be able to believe that, yes, I'm made for bigger things in life. And that's where this first spark comes. And that has to be backed up with perfect, beautiful, brilliant, empowering language. That yes, and you should be able to talk it loudly with everybody, with yourself. I think that is a starting point for you to start thinking big in life. Start believing, backed up with empowering language. Whichever language you speak, Hindi, English, regional, whichever state, whichever country you listen, talk in, but that empowering language which speaks richness, which speaks about greatness, which speaks about big things. Oh, I'll come with a revolutionary idea. You can speak. You don't have a revolutionary idea right now. That's okay, fair enough. But I will come with a revolutionary idea, and you should say with conviction. We should with belief. The world might feel, they might ridicule you, they might make joke of you, might make fun of you, but you should be able to believe. Yes, say whatever you want to say, guys. But I know one day I'll come with a revolutionary idea. It will change the whole world. And I think that's how Google came. That's how Star Plus. That's how all the new latest big invention that you see. Somebody comes with a fabulous breakthroughs. Who thought in this world, in India, especially 50 years back, water will be sold? Our great grandfathers, fathers, they would think it's a sin to sell water. But yes, somebody believed in this, and that's how the first step: belief that you're made for bigger thing, believe that you deserve more, and also back it up with those amazing empowering language. Number two, the first belief. Number two is languaging. Number three is also back it up with an action. Live like that. Don't talk about living like a king and then live like a beggar. When I say live like a beggar, doesn't literally mean on the road, but few of them, if you see, you really mean what you say. Because if it is not seen in the action that you don't live like a king, then you can't become a king. If you don't live like a monk, then you don't become a monk. You have to. Very, very important. So this is one part of how do I make my mind to think big. Belief. Back it up with some powerful, empowering words, and then let it be seen in the action that you're on towards it. Sitting in the bed all the time, sleeping, relaxing, wasting your time, all this thing doesn't work. Dream without action, vision without action is only a dream, says Aristotle. When that vision is backed up with action, appropriate, congruent action, something significant can be possible, says Aristotle. This is one part. Other part is even more exciting. Once in a, I won't say once, but I think very often you should be able to take and make some big and bold decisions. If you don't have the heart, so last time when I spoke about taking some building risks, today I want to say in the same tone maybe, if you do not have the courage to take some bigger and bolder decisions, your mind cannot expand, your mental bandwidth cannot expand to take or to think big, because decisions is what gears up your life. Decision is what speeds up your life. Decisions is what expands your life. And for that to happen, you need to take once in a while, very regularly, maybe periodically, some big and bold decisions. It can be from relationship perspective, it can be from health perspective, it can be from work perspective, it can be from business perspective, it can be from any social, any perspective is okay, any field, but there has to be some big and bold decisions. Example, you have chosen commerce to start your career after 10th standard, and in first PU or first 11th standard you realize, I think commerce is not something for me, I should go for science. Whole family is shaken up, one family is trying to question you, and you stick to say, no, I think I'll take science. People say, are you gone crazy? Who goes from people from science come to commerce? Why would you go from commerce to science? But he said, no, I believe, I think I chosen I made a wrong decision by coming to commerce. I think my mental bandwidth is for bigger things. I'm moving to science. And you've taken a bigger and bolder decision. It will expand your mind. You're made for bigger things, guy. See, helplessly you shifted from commerce to science to commerce. Now that is not called a big and bold decision. It is called helpless and power decision, pitiful decision. I'm not talking about that decisions. You want to marry a girl of your choice. Everybody in the family, her, his, or nobody is for the decision, and you say, no matter what happens. You call it adamancy, you call it stupidity, you call it foolishness, you say whatever you want to say. I'm not discussing right decision, wrong decision. I'm saying you should be able to take big and bold decisions. And this is one of the decisions, that you marry a person of your choice because you believe in that. And it's a big decision, because a life-changing decision for you, for her, for both the families. And you stick to that decision, and no matter what, you don't succumb to any pressure. You have taken a bigger and bolder decision. You are in employment and you feel, I think if I can work for somebody and make somebody crorepati or multi crorepati, then why can't I do for myself? If not multi crorepati, at least instead of earning in thousands, I can at least start earning in lakhs. No, let me do it. And you take that big and bold decision to move from employment to self-employment. I'm talking about those kind of big and bold decision. It suddenly creates tremendous breaking of the pattern of your mindset and expands your mind into something huge, monumental, mammoth, and humongous. That's how the mind, because suddenly the entire thought process of yours from being an employee to becoming an self-employed is a huge shift, and your mind expands into something very, very magical, big. It can be as simple as you go and tell your dad, I don't want to continue in the family business, no matter how exciting it is, how profitable it is. I want to do something absolutely apart from all that you have been doing it. And your father or your uncles, your grandparents might say, if you move from here out, do something, you won't get a single rupee from the family business, or you will not have anything in the will. And you should be able to say that it's absolutely okay. You don't want to put my name in the will, but I still have the will. So I'll find my way. And you find your way. That big and bold decision. So one of those times in life, maybe very often it happens. It can't happen every day. You can't take big and bold decisions. But there are times, frequently, periodically. It's as simple as saying, one of the biggest customer of yours, if this is how you're going to treat me, I don't think I'll be willing to work with you. And the customer is shaken up. Do you know whom are you saying no to? I give you 50-60% of your business. And you should be able to say that. I understand, I know that, but you cannot treat me like this, the way you treat me, for this, because you're giving me 50-60% of my business, and you say I'm willing to let go of it. Oh yeah, it's a big and bold decision. To be able to stand once in a while as a non-conformist and staying away from whole world of yours on one side and you are on the other side, and you say, I know whatever you say, you may think I'm wrong, everything, so be it, but this is how it is, this is how it is. And you're taken a very big and bold decision. And if you have that courage to take big and bold decision, what you have done is you have actually killed the old you in you, and you're given birth to a bigger and a bolder you, and which is a big frying pan. World will be at your feet. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. This one more thing that you have to bring into your lifestyle or your thought process is, whenever required, if you're able to say your topmost employee, if there is some issue, say, boss, if you want to leave, you leave, but you don't work the way you're working. Just because you're the top performer, you cannot break the rules, or you cannot go beyond the values of the organization. Organization is always going to be bigger than the person, and you're willing to let go of the most contributing performer of your company. It's a big and bold decision. It may be scary in the beginning to say, I might lose so much of business and work, but I think that is what actually expands your mind. Are you willing to take big and bold decisions? Yes, I think you have taken the first step toward thinking big, becoming big. And that's how, and you can see you can look at I'm not even telling you, look in the history. You can look around in the world, and you'll realize how many people around you right now have become young millionaires, young billionaires, and some revolutionary products, organizations, social revolutions have come. How? Because somebody is willing to take big and bold decision. As recent as that Malala from, I think, Pakistan or Afghanistan, I don't know. As recent as that girl called Greta about social, no, what is it? Something about the environmental something she has taken and crusade against the whole thing. Big and bold decision, and suddenly they have become very big in the world. Like that, should be able to take some big and bold decisions. Third dimension I want to give for this today's session is even more beautiful, and I think that's the most magical part, and it needs tremendous amount of guts, and it is the little difficult part of the entire thing. Nothing is difficult. You want to think, if you want to know how to think big, the prize also is going to be big. You can't pay a small price and then have big things in life. कीमती चीज की कीमत भी बहुत ज्यादा होती है. कीमती चीजों की कीमत भी बहुत ज्यादा होती है. Thinking big is not a small thing in life. It's the most valuable thought process you can ever have in your life. I remember when I started on my own in 2014, and till 2014 I was working with an organization which has given me what I am today in my life, and I owe it everything to that organization, to all those people there. So when I began on my own on the first anniversary of my organization, where 5,500 people used to come for my public program, I stepped on 10th August 2015 in an auditorium for 1,200 people, and I only saw 200 people sitting there in the auditorium. And for a moment, I skipped a heartbeat. But the first statement in that program I said was this: दुनिया भले ही छोटी हो जाए, सोच छोटी नहीं करना. I don't know how it will sound in English. Will it have the same impact the way I spoke that day? दुनिया भले ही छोटी हो जाए. And I spoke with tremendous amount of conviction. दुनिया भले ही छोटी हो जाए, सोच कभी छोटी नहीं करना. जिस दिन सोच छोटी हो जाएगी, दुनिया भी छोटी हो जाएगी. लेकिन अगर सोच बड़ी रहेगी तो छोटी दुनिया भी बड़ी हो सकती है. Just because your world has shrunk, don't shrink your thinking. Because with a shrunk thinking, you cannot build a bigger world. You cannot shrink away to growth. You only can expand away to growth. So दुनिया भले ही छोटी हो जाए, सोच छोटी नहीं करना. सोच बड़ी रहेगी तो दुनिया भी बड़ी हो जाएगी. Just because the world has shrunk, don't shrink your thinking. And that when you continue to still think big, eventually your world also will become big. So the next dimension which I want to add today before we wind up this session on how to think big is this. See, we all have to set goals. People always say that you should set goals, and this is very important because goals gives a direction to our thought process. Not only direction, but it also gives direction to our potential to express ourselves. So one of the most beautiful phrases, statements, proverbs, I don't know what you call it as, but something tremendous impact in my life is this: aim for the stars. Even if you miss it, you still hit the clouds. Aim for the stars. Even if you miss it, you still hit the clouds. Goes the saying. It's better to aim for the stars and still miss it, you still hit the clouds, than to aim for the mango, and even if you hit it, you still get a mango, and mango can be given by anybody to you. I think that's one big thought process. So when you're setting goal, you set a goal bigger than your capability, bigger than your ability, bigger than your frying pan. That's very important. This is where people miss it. So one of the most basic thing which people miss in thinking big is this. For example, when I spoke about taking a bigger and bolder decision, so you decide to work on your health and fitness, you take a very big bold decision. I remember 2016, I took a very big and bold decision on my health. I suffered a lot of issue with my stomach. And 3 months of some treatments and some kriyas and something I formed for myself, something I understood, and out of which a beautiful program called Body, Mind and You, BMI also came, which help people to drop their weight. But that 1.5 years, 2016 to 2018, mid 2016 20, and so 1.5 years. 1.5 years, I took a very big bold decision that I will not eat fried items. I will not touch sweets. I will not eat any stuff of maida. I will not eat anything white. Anything white, from rice to milk. So no milk products, no pizza, burgers, anything with maida, no cold drinks, no pastries, and no bakery items, no fry items. And for 18 months, I did not touch a single thing, no matter what. Ice cream, and I love all this stuff. But I realized if I have to have a brilliant health, and in that 18 months in the year of 2016, when my biological age was 52, when I was 44, when I was 44, 45, my biological age was 52 or 55 something. And in 3 months' time, I worked so much by taking some bold and big decisions on my health and fitness and my eating habits. In just 3.5 months' time, I gained back 18 years. And my biological age is 32. Today I'm 52, 51, but my biological age is much lesser than my actual age because I took some big and bold decision. It was like something people could believe. You have left all these things, you're not eating all these things? Yeah. And the same big decision I realized recently again. Again, my stomach issues are from the beginning. I have all this issue. Again, I felt it's not going okay. I have taken some big and bold decision, and it's been now almost I think 2 weeks. I have not touched gluten. I have not touched wheat. I have not touched chapati and milk products and few things which I think without which I had never thought I can live my life. But I have taken this. Now, continuing on those things, I'm telling you this. If it is your health or relationship or work or profession or jo bhi hai, you take some big and bold decision. At the same time, what you do is when you plan, when you set goals, because your mind needs something to focus on. See, we cannot not focus on something. We have to focus on something. So, for example, let's go. Now, where? Mind does not know. It is ready to go, but where? So, when I say let's go to that direction, that destination, mind is now able to follow, create a path and create a route to it, and then we go it. That is how the whole thing mind works. So, what I'm telling you here is when you are setting a goal maybe it's for your financial year, maybe for your academical year, maybe for your health, maybe for your fitness, whatever is the objective, when you set the goal bigger than your ability. And when you're setting a goal, that time, listen to this part very carefully. When you're setting the goal, that time don't think how will you achieve it. That you forget, that you delegate to subconscious powers. At the point of conceptualizing the goal, don't ever think how are you going to achieve it. Those people, when they write some goal and then think, but I don't think I can achieve it, they can't achieve it. It's over because the belief is lost. So at the point of conceiving a goal or conceptualizing a goal, never ever entertain this thought in your mind that how are you going to achieve this goal. Just write a goal, whatever you believe from the heart. I'm doing 10 crores. Write down 50 crores 5 times. And see, if you go to a some um, typical coach or some guide, they will say, see, let's go, what do you call that? Linear progression. 10 crores, let's do 12 crores, 20% hike is okay, then 10%. See, 10%, 20%, 30% doesn't excite you. It's like, oh, that will anyway happen because of inflation in our country. So what excites you is big numbers. Now, at the time of conceiving the goal or conceptualizing the goal, that time don't ever. Oh, we will think later how to do that. For that, you have to understand the power of your subconscious. Which, if you are attending my sessions, I've already discussed about how subconscious powers work and how subconscious mind work. And the first step is this: how to trigger the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind can be triggered only with intensity. That is the basic thing which we have learned. Subconscious mind can be only triggered from the state of dormancy to dominancy is by intensity. So anything intense happens to you, your subconscious mind becomes active. It gets awakened and it can do magical things for you. Like in anger, you can hit your hand on the wall or beat your head on the wall. You can do only when your anger is too much. Your anger is the intense emotion. It triggers the subconscious. If I tell you in sanity, when you are sane, you're conscious, that moment, if I ask you to go and hit your head on the wall, you'll say, Pagal, like, I will not do all this thing. Am I gone mad or what? Yes, only in the madness you do something which is not possible otherwise. Like that, when you set a goal, that goal should be such a big goal that it actually shakes up you. You should get little scared. So when you set the goal, if you feel little scared, yeah. So what is the plan for your health and fitness? You are quite overweight. You have 25 kgs to be dropped. So what's the plan? And you should be able to say with tremendous conviction, I'll drop 20 kgs in 6 months. The guy said, 20 kgs in 6 months. Are you crazy? It's not possible. And you should feel that shiver. Is it? Did I commit more? नहीं, but वो अभी बोल दिया है 20 kgs in 6 months I will do it. That's it. That is done. And other people try to convince. The more they try to convince you, the more you become more conviction. No, abhi to pakka karna hai. 20 kgs in 6 months I will drop, no matter what. Now that time the other will say, but how will you achieve? No, that I will find later on. How to drop 20 kgs in 6 months, how to do all this thing I will find later on. But right now, this is clear. 20 kgs in 6 months. So now when you go back, you're thinking, everybody's saying it's not possible. And I've told this to everybody now. And you feel a little nervous. And the moment you feel that little nervous or anxious, that negative intensity triggers your subconscious. And then you'll suddenly start seeing you attracting right people, right friends, or right guidance comes to you, which will actually help you. And you'll be actually surprised yourself and others saying that, actually, I did it in 20 kgs in 6 months. Not a big deal here. And I'm telling you, and you believe me because I've done it. I don't have 20 kgs to drop in my life, but I've seen so many of them whom I've helped to drop 20 kgs in 6 months, and it is possible. And people say, and no crash diet course, right eating. Is an example. It ain't anything. I'm doing 10 crores. How long I will do 10 crores now? It's been almost 3 years. I'm doing 10 crores, 11 crores, 12 crores. Now I want to go to next level. I want 100 crores marna hai. What I've done in 3 years, I've done 3 years, I've done 40 crores. Okay, next year 10 crores, straight away 40 crores. Everybody around you, maybe your partners, your employees will say, "You're pagal ho gaya." This one word has to come in your life. People should feel to pagal ho gaya. People should feel to you're gone mad. And the moment people think you're gone mad, I think that madness is what is required, because subconscious is only madness. Subconscious power is only madness. Conscious mind only has its own very limited limitations. Subconscious mind has unlimited powers, and it can be triggered only with madness. So you have to make some mad goals. A goal which people should feel to pagal ho gaya. So go and say, I'm going to marry the richest woman in this country, or richest girl in this, or the daughter of the richest man in the city. Jo bhi hai. And he said, are you gone crazy? That's the exact thing should come from the world, and it should also feel. Don't you think it's actually a little crazy to do that? And I do all the crazy things. So when I go to Wandering Monk, that is my 7-day spiritual nature adventure. I go with my 30 more people along with me. I do some crazy stuff. People can't believe. I make people dance on the road. And we all dance happily. Now, for them, this is something crazy. That craziness is required, because that breaks your existing pattern of normal, ordinary, routinized thinking, and breaks them into a thought process that when the whole world is watching you, strangers on the road are traveling and they're looking at you with madness, and you are dancing on the road as mad people without your knowledge. Your thinking pattern has been changed into bigger bang. I make them jump into waterfalls which are been absolutely raw, unknown, wild, no human being around. And I said, let's go into this. And I lead by, definitely I lead by example. I first go and jump into the whole thing. I said, come on, if I am still alive after this, you also can come. And with all that, they feel, kya ho raha hai, pagal ho gaya hum log. He's gone mad, he's making all of us also mad. And they also get into the waterfall. They also go on top of the mountain, make them stand on the edge of the mountain cliff and make them shout, scream loudly, which they have never done in usual life. Being usual, being routine, being normal cannot make your mind to think big and achieve great things in life. And this crankiness, this pagalpan, this madness, I make all of them do, and I take all of them for my nature programs, whether it is wandering monks of 7 days or top of the world for 3 days. And I've seen people start thinking big about everything, because you have broken a very old patternized thinking. Small frying pan is broken into bigger frying pan, because now you can just do anything because you have done it. And subconscious mind only believes when you experientially give it to it. So at the point of conceiving a goal, never think how will you achieve it. Just whatever you believe comes to your mind, write it down. You have 40 crores, write down there 200 crores, 300 crores, 500 crores. Somewhere you believe 1,000 crores, write down 1,000 crores and believe in the 1,000 crores. When this belief in 1,000 crores becomes so much of conviction, the power of belief is, it starts conspiring things in life. Like Shah Rukh Khan will say in the movie, that movie, Om Shanti Om. जब तुम किसी चीज को बड़ी शिद्दत से चाहते हो तो सारी कायनात जुड़ जाती है तुमसे मिलाने के लिए. When you start believing in something with so much of belief, the entire existence will start conspiring events to make it happen for you. It's only a matter of time. But suppose, Deepak, we believe and it doesn't happen. What did you lose? You were doing 20 crores, you planned for 1,000 crores, it did not happen, you ended up 50 crores. Any problem? 20 crores became 50 crores. Otherwise, it would have become 25 crores. Aim for the stars. Even if you miss it, you still hit the clouds. And if you have believed I will do 1,000 crores and you don't end up 1,000 crores, instead of from 100 crores to 1,000 crores, you end up with 300 crores. What's your loss? What's your loss? Nobody is going to hang you for that. What you committed that you will do 1,000 crores. Oh, bol diya. Some idiot called Deepak came and told me, and the time of conception of the goal, don't think how you'll achieve it. So I told 1,000 crores, bol diya, and ultimately instead of 1,000 crores, From 100 crores, I moved to 300 crores only. Only 3 times I grew instead of growing 10 times. I lost. ऐसा बोल के छोड़ दो. And the world will still feel, boss, from 100 crores to 300 crores itself is a great thing. Guys, aim for the stars. Even if you miss it, you still hit the clouds. I think with this, I think we should be able to conclude the session on thinking big, how to think big. And next Sampoorna, let's see what I come up with. Something very beautiful I'll come up with. Right now, I don't have clarity on this, what I want to speak on next Monday. But do stay connected. You think this piece of wisdom that I'm sharing with you, which is very simple and profound, if it should not go to anybody, it should stay only with you, because some secrets of life should not be given to anybody, definitely not to your loved ones, not to anybody. Otherwise, by mistake, if you'll press subscribe and share and bell icon, all these things, don't do all these things, because if all other will come to know about all this beautiful wisdom, simple wisdom that is available to you, they all will become big and you will still remain small. So be very selfish. Don't share, don't subscribe, don't press bell icon, don't do nothing about it. Just watch it, close the TV immediately, close the YouTube immediately. And I think all the best. Feel big, think big, talk big, act big, and will very soon see you being big along with me, very big. Thank you so much for staying connected. All the best.